Hi there, my name is Angel Clark and I'd like to welcome you to our special presentation, How to Analyze Stocks in 30 Seconds, or even less. In this session, you'll learn how to pick better stocks for long and or short-term profits, steer clear of big losers, and analyze your entire portfolio in minutes. When we talk about analyzing, we're not just talking about being dependent on TV gurus or newsletter writers. Have you ever been burned by one of their hot tips? Maybe a recommendation that seemed to work out a lot better for them than it did for you. Or maybe some advice was just quietly swept under the carpet when it didn't work out. That doesn't have to happen when you have the right information to take control and do the analysis yourself. We're talking about removing the guesswork and really understanding what you're putting your money into, every step of the way, on practically any stock. That includes the fundamentals of the stock, in other words, the quality, but also the critical technical component, which inspects the price trend. Of course, we're going to show you how to accomplish this analysis in less than 30 seconds, so you actually want to do it. But what's equally amazing is that it's completely objective, finally removing the emotion from deciding what to buy and what to sell, which, let's face it, makes managing your entire portfolio a whole lot faster and easier. So let's get started. Believe it or not, there's only one tool we need to do all this analysis, and that's a VectorVest Watchlist. It'll show us what a stock is really worth, how safe it is, and when to buy, sell, or hold. All you're going to do is click on the Viewers tab, select a watchlist group like this My Watchlist folder, click New, give it a name, and then start entering your stocks. I'm just going to enter some popular ones here. Remember, it doesn't really matter what stocks I'm typing in now because you're going to be doing this with your own stocks. And if you can't think of any stocks to start with, take advantage of some of VectorVest's watch lists, like the S&P or the Dow. Once you have your stocks in there, you're going to see that the first few columns are just your standard basics. Name, symbol, exchange. That little X, by the way, means that the stock is optionable. You'll see price and the price change. But then you'll come across information that you'll only find in VectorVest. And the key word really is information. See, the beauty of your watch list is that it takes the flood of data, numbers, and just plain noise you're bombarded with and transforms it into usable information. Big difference between data and information. Data you have to put together. You have to search it, sift it, weight it, and finally put it together in some kind of sensible way so that it finally becomes information. But with your watch list, you get to skip all that hassle and wind up right at the finish line, where you get the information you need to finally make your investing decisions. And that information starts with value. Value is just what it sounds like. It's what the stock is currently worth. It focuses on three primary factors that really drive not just a stock's value, but the entire market. That's interest rates, inflation, and the big one, earnings. If earnings are beating inflation and interest, then the stock's going to be worth more. If not, the value is going to go down. So let's take a look at our watch list. Right away, we can pick out which stocks are bargains and which stocks are trading at a pretty high premium. If you're willing to pay a premium, that's fine. Those stocks can still go up. But now you can clearly see what you're getting into so you don't get blindsided. But there's something even more important than a stock's current value. It's the stock's future value, or at least its potential future value. And we get that from the next indicator you see, relative value, RV for short. RV, and actually the next few indicators we're going to talk about, are on the VectorVest scale of 0 to 2. This is one of the things that makes VectorVest so fast and easy to use. One simple scale. Doesn't matter what the stock is. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 isn't. So if you want to know which stocks have a good shot at moving higher over time versus, let's say, shriveling up, just take a look at RV. It takes into account the factors that really hit the company's bottom line. Then it sums them up and ranks the stock's future 1 to 3 year growth potential on that 0 to 2 scale. The higher the better. With just a glance, you can see this watch list has several stocks with fantastic long-term potential. Some that are pretty good, and some, well, the future doesn't look too bright for them based on those profitability factors. That's exactly why their RV is below 1. It's unfavorable. Pretty good information to have. Even better, though, is being able to measure the risk you're taking to try to cash in on that future growth. And you can do that just as easily with the next indicator, relative safety, or RS. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. Which sounds safer to you? A company that's broke? Or a company that's making lots of money? No brainer. But that's just a start. To really make an accurate assessment of risk, relative safety digs deeper than just the current earnings. It's putting a company's long-term financial track record under a microscope. Consistency, predictability, debt, sales, volatility, it's all baked in. The more money they make, the more consistently they make it, and the more secure it is based on those other factors, the higher their safety ranking will be on that 0 to 2 scale. Above 1 favorable, below 1 unfavorable. Now it's no problem at all to spot the financial rock stars in our watch list. It's also easy to spot some of the stocks that would be a bigger gamble. Let's take what we've covered. Say a company is trading at a bargain with fantastic growth potential and stellar financials. Sounds perfect, right? Well, if you've made a trade or two, you've probably realized there's always a bad time to buy or hold on to a stock, even a really great quality one. That's why we have the most important indicator, relative timing, RT. Here's another area where VectorVest really stands out in a crowd, or where you might think we're crazy. A lot of investors have been told to buy stocks that are going down in price. Can you see any problem with that? If a stock is falling, you don't know if it's at a bottom. It's definitely not a bargain if it keeps heading down, taking your capital with it. So the key is being able to identify when the price trend is already going the way you want it to go, up. That's a job for relative timing. VectorVest short-term trend and momentum indicator. If a stock is shooting upward, it'll be right there at the top of that 0 to 2 scale. If it's getting crushed by a downward trend, or in this case a 4x4, it'll be toward the bottom of that scale. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. The really amazing thing about RT, though, is that it can spot changes in the trend even before price changes. Because it's analyzing more than just price direction, it's also looking at how fast and how far price has moved over 4 different periods in time. Truly an amazing tool to have if you're an investor. You'll instantly be able to spot the hot uptrends and steer clear of the stocks that are on a course to crash and burn. And that brings us to an indicator called VST. VST is perfect for the greedy investor who wants it all, value, safety, and timing, because it combines all three. No matter how many stocks you're looking at, VST can rank them so the cream of the crop is right at the top. Pretty big time saver when you're trying to find the best of the best, or even if you're just trying to avoid the not so great. Oh, and every watch list is instantly and automatically ranked by VST, which means you don't need to do a thing except cherry pick your favorites and enjoy your profits. To make those final decisions even easier, each stock you see in VectorVest will have a recommendation: buy, sell, or hold. Now, these recommendations aren't commandments, they're information. Think of them as educated guides. Each recommendation rating is entirely rule-based. Remember, we're leaving emotions at the door when it comes to trading. The rule for a sell rating is simple: it's below the stop price. So let's take a second to look at that. The stop price is a threshold for when to sell a stock, kind of like a line in the sand. And it's customized for each individual stock in VectorVest. It's higher for weak stocks, stocks with low RV and RS, and lower for strong stocks. That means riskier stocks get sell recommendations quicker. Let's take a look at a few of the stocks in our watch list that have a sell recommendation. This blue line is the stop price. So when the price of the stock crosses that threshold, it's going to receive a sell. We can see most recently where it happened on this stock. This stock got a sell recommendation back here. This stock was a sell recommendation around here. And the next stock, this stock was practically a sell recommendation the entire time. Here we have another sell recommendation and another. Remember, you can always take your profits sooner, but that sell recommendation, it can be a lifesaver, or a portfolio saver in this case. The stop price is also used in the buy recommendation because the first rule for a buy is that the price has to be higher than the stop price. The second is that the price of the stock has to be moving away from that stop price. The RT has to be above 1, and the VST has to be above 1. So basically, a stock has to work pretty hard to get a buy rating from VectorVest. And the hold, that just means wait until the rules are met to turn it into a buy or a sell recommendation. Now we've come to the big test. Can we actually analyze a stock in less than 30 seconds? Remember, the scale is just 0 to 2. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. So let's start with this stock at the top. It's trading for $72.86. It's worth $112.39. Is it over or undervalued? Is the price appreciation potential favorable or unfavorable? It's above 1, so it's favorable. Is it on the riskier side or the safer side? Well, relative safety is above 1, so it's favorable. It's on the safer side. What's the trend like? Relative timing is well above 1, so that's favorable. The stock is in an uptrend. And at 1.75, it's got a lot of momentum behind it. It's at the top of our list with the highest combination of value, safety, and timing. And should we consider buying, selling, or holding? It's got a buy rating. When analyzing stocks is this quick, it only takes minutes to manage your entire portfolio. Kick out the bad and keep the good. It's that simple. And the more you use these indicators, the faster and easier it gets. Until you get familiar with them though, let me show you a trick. Just right-click on any stock for a full stock analysis report. It'll have all the information on those indicators that we talked about. Now it's time to try it out for yourself. Print out one of those stock analysis reports as a guide, just so you have it handy, and then start your own watch list for faster, smarter, better investing decisions.